Hi guys. I think I'm a little closer now because the pain. I don't know. I've been looking to look. I'm not sick, guys. In case I look like really thin or whatever. Um, I just sometimes I have this thing. I'll forget to eat until 4 o'clock, until whatever, and then I'll be eating at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm cool. It's just I look gaunt and all that. And anyway, my son has given me a 20-minute limit on these videos, whether I like it or not. Don't tell him I might do 25 because tonight I switched my teaser and I really want to get into an outrageous party situation, but there's just a couple of things I want to do first and I don't have much time. So I'm not like wigging out and talking so fast without a reason. So, how was your day? It's good. I mean, you can email me, sean566@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope it was good. My day, well, mama girl is here. My day, I don't know. You know what my day was that I've been like telling myself since I was 14? Is something that Janis Joplin said on her self-titled album called Pearl, which was her nickname, The Pearl. And she used to say in one of those talky, chatty parts of the song, well, man, it's all the same effing day. So that's kind of like how my day was. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. So anyway, chop chop. Last time. I know that I had said some political stuff, which is like off limits from now on because it just muddles up everything and takes you in 16 million directions. However, I did leave you kind of hanging with a lot of glib-ish stuff about like following receipts and you'll understand everything. Well, yeah, it's true, but I need to sort of lay it on the table and then we don't have to talk about it anymore. So what do I say? Well, I am a left libertarian. I am not a libertarian, and I am way not a conservative libertarian. I am a left libertarian. Problem is I can't vote libertarian because that is not what I am. So ever since Reagan, I have voted D down the line, D across the board, D down the line, D across the board. Nowadays, it's not my political ideology, but I don't have a party. Independents have a party. Libertarians have a party, but I can't go there. Democrats, of course, have a party, and I always vote D across the board. Sue me. One thing I do hear, though, a lot of is that y'all are a progressive or whatever. Because I've been watching, I've actually been watching independent media because your local news television, by the way, like 6 o'clock news, whatever, KTLA, 80% of those in this country are owned by lock, stock, and barrel conservative corporate interests. So if that's where you want to get your news, go ahead. But my advice would be to, for a week, let's say, read Reuters. Just don't turn off all the talking heads and read Reuters for all your news. It starts with R-U-E. Reuters, 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 let's say all week long. And then while you're doing that, follow the stock exchange, but not through the Wall Street Journal. Do not read the Wall Street Journal if you want to follow this particular kind of advice. Find somewhere that has the raw numbers. Because that's all it is. It's raw numbers. Wall Street Journal will take 3 numbers and then create 17 articles out of it that I am not interested in reading, especially considering the source. So find some accurate, maybe Reuters or wherever, of the stock exchange. Okay, so you're following that and you're following Reuters, stock exchange Reuters. So let's say for a week, you look at both of those and that's all you're seeing and looking. And if you look for a pattern, any pattern you find in watching the stock exchange raw, which is really just numbers and graphs and whatever, flow charts. It doesn't require 17 articles. And then read Reuters, which is whether you like it or not. Like it seems to whatever to you, but still read it just for the experiment. Read it straight through, and index that with what you are seeing on the stock exchange. Now, if you do not see anything during that week that does not give you even one disturbing pattern, a pattern that disturbs you in terms of who is making money that week when like some stuff, like something happens or whatever. Who's making, like, what is the stock exchange doing while Reuters is feeding you the information? So that's it. That's my politics. Left libertarian. Nobody, I don't think I've ever seen anybody on independent media, news media, admit their affiliation. I've heard progressive a lot, and as I said, cool, be a progressive. What is a progressive though? Like, what are you progressive about? Like, you have no party. No offense. I used to kind of think I was a progressive too until I realized, like, well, okay, so email me and tell me what the progressive platform is. It's not a party. Independents are a party. Bernie Sanders is a force of nature. What's a progressive platform? You know, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. And it's not a party. So I guess it's an easy way out for maybe not so, like maybe kind of a little lazy liberally thing that just really believes in good things, but doesn't have a platform or a party. So, you know, be a progressive, whatever. Anyway, boom, boom, boom. So we're going to get to the party. Oh my God, we have 12, well, according to my son, we have 14 minutes. Anyway, so one example of 7,000 things, right? I've got all these parties. I mean, I've got industry stuff coming out of my ears, okay? And it's not like because I'm like, you know, something fell on my head or whatever. It's just I've had it forever, and now you're my best friend. Totally freaky weird, I know. You're a jillion people, but whatever. Sorry. So this one, I was thinking, what am I doing the dishes all the time? Look, I use scalding water and I use rubber gloves, so don't worry about it. I just, you know, what happened earlier was I thought I was going to deep dive into like family, like, you know, a specific thing that I have with a cousin once removed, and then all this family dynamics. And I thought, wrong, boom, you know, too much to say. And I have to kind of jump on what I like think is a topic that day, because otherwise, because I want my shows to kind of be a continuum. You don't have to watch everything, but it's one of those things where, you know, you can catch it, and the other parts don't necessarily not make sense. So you know, it's not a like dynasty. So there's this party, right? My beloved stepmother, Sandra Palouse. Just trust me on this one. She invented gourmet catering for movies and film. No, she couldn't have, whatever. Well, yes, she did. In the early to mid 70s, when she, you know, relocated from Amsterdam and everywhere that she's been with my stepbrother Mino, who is also as cultured, as sophisticated, and used to teach history for years, like, you know, like 12th grade history. So this is a big party, and this career builds because no one had ever done, like, you either got perch or you got roast beef or you got vegetables when you were making a movie. Well, Sandra comes along, and God love her, God bless her. She basically invents where it's like, no, you don't have to eat perch, you don't have to eat roast beef, and you don't have to eat potatoes. Why don't you have like this wonderful couscous with a chicken salad and, God forbid, a little curry, and to chase it down, you know what I mean? She invented that, essentially. Prove me wrong. Like, email me whoever that was. So she then, by this time, I don't know, drinking age. And I also have another party that is a similar scenario. So just kind of parallel universe of what I'm about to tell you, with another huge Hollywood party that was an absolute horror. And you know, when I say horror, I mean like it was grotesquely horror. But this one, so my beloved stepmother, you know, she's trying to, like, you know, essentially I waited tables at a restaurant called Chin Chin in West Hollywood on Sunset Plaza. And so she knew I knew who I was waiting tables. So she used to try and, incorporate me into these like, fancy schmancy parties, Hollywood parties, because then she's in demand. She invented something, and now like every like movie star wants her to cater their party because it's just so unique, and the couscous, and then like from some other country you never heard of, and it's delicious. So she's doing this huge Hollywood party, and so she brings me on as an assistant, which I've done catering before. Basically, you drive a truck to a fancy house, you unload everything, you do the hardest work of anybody in the house, and then you walk around with 1,600 trays of canapes while you're trying to keep like 14 like stenos like heat enough to serve like 7 entrees, and you're only 3 people. So I get it, but not hers. Hers were like the Monte Carlo of catering for that set. So she brings me on, poor woman, and so I needed money, right? So she brings me on as one of her crew, because her crew knows. I mean, she doesn't like have these kind of parties without a crew, and the crew might be 3 or 4 other people who know the F what they're doing. So keep that in mind. So, oh my God. So she's like, Sean, okay, whatever. So this is a high level party. Like there's movie stars and directors, one of which I have mentioned that I will get into quite seriously later on, but not too later on. So everyone, the crew is, we're all wearing these like red aprons like you would wear like if you were like in an Italian restaurant or fancy bar, the big with the tie around it. So I'm walking around like with that, like I'm used to waiting tables like in Italian restaurants and stuff, not this kind of thing. Even though I, in the mid 70s when my father first met her and she taught me that there were families that were normal, I used to run with her like to Grand Central Market in Los Angeles because she was, ground upping this invention. So we would be there and I would be like, I still have in my head like, goodness gracious, like, like severed, this part of animals, like, ready to buy and boil. So anyway, I had gone way back with her into the catering thing, like kind of, when Mina was quite young and when Soleil was not around, just a little bit. And then, and then Soleil was 76. So there's this party, right? And the crew's doing their thing, and she, has to be so far removed from her crew type stuff, beef girl, that she has to not mingle, but sort of like a maitre d' or a concierge or something. So she's doing her thing. So I'm kind of left to my own devices because the crew's so busy. And it's like, oh, fancy party. So I'm walking around with the canapes, and oh, what do you know? I have to serve canapes to Jane Alexander. Jane Alexander is an Oscar nom, famous actress who early on, kind of when she started, did a film called Circle of Children, which I mentioned before, where I played an autistic child with Kyle Richards, Housewives of whatever, and Todd Bridges and Matthew Laborto. So she was the teacher, so I knew her. So I'm with the canapes and the fucking the frigging, I'm very sorry, Italian, whatever, apron. And then I'm like, oh, Jane Alexander, and I'm like, here's your canapé. By the way, I co-starred with you, like you were my teacher in that autistic film about autism and how it impacts neurodivergent children. And I, of course, did not say that, or she would explode like I was from the future. But I didn't say that. She was very gracious, and I was very gracious, and then it happened with Ted Kotcheff, who is also a very famous comedian. I mean, a comic director. I can't even go on about Ted Kotcheff. He's the one that saw me in the toothpaste commercial, Crest. Mr. Goodwin, I don't know what to do today. Buy me Crest, or let me buy your Crest. Played by Arthur O'Connell. who was, again, a very famous actor in the 40s, whatever. So I got seen in this commercial by Ted Kotcheff. Ted Kotcheff's at the party with the apron and the canapes, and Jane Alexander, who I already reminded, we had done this, like very intense thing. Do you want a canapé? So then I do this with Ted Kotcheff, which he had Ted had, I didn't have to audition for Fun with Dick and Jane. Ted just had somebody call my agent and say, "Oh, you see the kid in that toothpaste commercial?" And they said yes, and he goes, "Book him." I'm not lying. So I was on the set like within a week of him seeing that commercial. So he's there. So then all of you, as you can imagine, well, then hi, I was that guy that you did all this and whatever. Had you want a canapé? So I'm done. Oh, then I have to go into the middle room because it's a big old estate, and it's like the schematics are different than they are today. So there's like rooms within rooms type thing, and this was this library room in the middle of like other rooms, and me with my canapes and my red apron. So I go into this like magic castle room, and there's Liv Ullmann that I'm bringing a cocktail, a scotch or whatever, to in the Magic Castle room. And I don't know who I'm bringing this to. And I'm like, oh my God, Liv Ullmann, I don't know her. But like my dad brought me to like Cries and Whispers, an Ingmar Bergman film when I was like 7, where Liv Ullmann mutilates herself at a wake. So, okay. And then she's a brilliant actress, so I give her scotch, and it's like already I'm getting like, okay, this is a really weird dream. So I hustle back to the kitchen where the crew is diligently working, and my beloved stepmother is in and out because she's doing that like concierge stuff, but she has to keep an eye on the crew. That's why she is who she is. She's got 16 million eyes making perfection or delightful food. So now I'm done with the canapes and I'm in the kitchen, and crew's busy. And I'm not a part of the crew because I'm sort of like, Sean, I know you didn't get a lot of hours at numero uno this week, so I'll throw you a bone because I love you dearly, and you can do this like super fancy schmancy party. So I make my way into the kitchen. One of the crew says, oh, I need help. She needed help with this very specialized kind of vegetable. It wasn't like a salad. It was like al dente. So she says, put the artichokes with that lovely gourmet marinade in them, jars. And she said, put them in this lovely salad thing. So Sean takes these very expensive artichoke jars and strains them. So I was convinced that these expensive gourmet jars needed to be strained of the stuff inside, which was probably, I don't know, truffles. So anyway, so I've now drained all of the precious artichokes. And unfortunately, the crew's busy, of course, not seeing me do this, or they would, start urinating. I'm sorry. So my poor stepmother walks in, and she's like, "Why are you doing that?" Because that was the precious truffle stuff, but they were fully drained, ready to go. So she's very tolerant. I'm sorry. She's very tolerant about the fact that I ruined the gourmet artichoke. Okay, wait, hold on. Oh man, I have wow, let's just go 5 minutes over on this. So I burned. So now we're coming to a close right after I have been awkward and given scotch and canapé hell. And so we're drawing to a close after everyone is, I'm sorry, eating the drained artichokes. So now it's time for cleanup. Okay, Sean, you only have 2 minutes. Okay. So now it's time for for cleanup. So my beloved stepmother has to, do this kind of exit stuff. It's, very public relations. I am the chef, or I want to meet the chef, and then it becomes a very lovely, delightful conversation with my beloved stepmother, and that's, I don't know, how she does like mega fancy parties for like Diana Ross and all these people at the time. So it's cleanup time. So one of the crew gives Sean a walk. Those kind that you save like for years and let the stuff build up to make it work or taste better or whatever. I am not a chef. I can make ice. I can scramble eggs. I can do tea service for 6, Irish or English, meat cold or not, and I can basically. That's it. So I'm given the walk, the precious walk. So my ideas, the walk needs to be clean. Okay, so what does Sean do? He grabs a Brillo pad. I'm sorry. I grab a Brillo pad and I start to clean the walk. But unfortunately, all the crumbly stuff. I don't know. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm at 21 minutes. Okay, so all the valuable stuff at the bottom of your precious walk that you saved for years is now being scrubbed off by Sean because he is a space kid. So, my beloved stepmother now comes to the kitchen a second time after I've ruined. Stop it. Her artichokes. Now she has to see her. I am really sorry. Honey, you'll help me. Okay, so now she has to walk in and see me ruining her walk. I am really sorry, guys. So I ruined her walk by scrubbing it clean. And walks are not supposed to be like that. They're not supposed to be treated like that. So God love the woman. She had now kind of had it, Like, why did I do this? You're not in my crew and you scrub my walk. Okay. So she's horrified, but she's very tolerant. And I'm horrified, like everything from the artichokes to the walk. I walk out of the party just completely horrified that I had like, got to meet these famous people and I had served them canapes awkwardly in a very bizarre outfit that we don't wear it, numero uno or chin. And then I ruined the artichokes, and then I ruined the walk, and then I walked. And I was at actually a very, very, very influentially famous person's house that evening, and he was a client of hers, as was, like I said, all big clients. And I don't think that he booked her again. I really don't. And we're at 23 minutes, so I hope you enjoyed yourself. I so look forward to these things. You just, you don't know. And I am so sorry for not being able to talk about the walk because I lost a little control there, right? So I feel like taking my glasses off and being like this, but I know the focus gets weird. I love you guys. Thank you for laughing with me. I hope you were, or maybe not, just like seeing me gesticulate a lot. And I love you, and I'm not crying from sadness. And I will see you tomorrow at 11 p.m. sharp, Pacific Standard Time. I can't tell you guys, but I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.